So what do we do? How do we break the habit of silence? First, see the cage. Notice when you are biting your tongue just to fit in. Notice when your silence is protecting comfort instead of truth. Call it what it island, not keeping the peace, not being polite, but submission. Second, practice small acts of defiance. Not reckless rebellion, not chaos, but deliberate resistance. Say no when you mean no. Ask a question when the room expects silence. Refuse to laugh at cruelty, even if everyone else does. These cracks in the wall matter. Third, accept the weight of speech. Because freedom is heavy, speaking truth is risky. It may cost you friendships, it may cost you safety. But silence costs more. It costs the future. Bonhoeffer paid with his life. Arendt paid with exile. Countless thinkers, activists, and ordinary people have paid for refusing silence. And yet, because of them, truth survived. So the question is not, will silence protect you? The question is, what will silence destroy if you keep it? The most dangerous prison is the one that convinces you it isn't there. And silence is the strongest wall in that prison. Every day you have a choice. Stay quiet and strengthen the lie. Or speak, even if your voice shakes. Because when good people stay silent, evil doesn't just win, it thrives. So ask yourself, what silence are you protecting today? And what truth is waiting for you to speak? If this changes the way you think, if it cracks the silence in your own life, don't stop here. Step further into the questions. Step further into yourself. Step further into the edge. And subscribe. Because only at the edge of silence begins the possibility of truth. What if silence isn't neutral? What if every time you keep quiet, every time you look away, every time you bite your tongue, you are not protecting peace, but helping to destroy it? You know this moment. You're in the room. Someone says something cruel, unfair, or dangerous. You feel it deep inside, your body tenses. Your heart races. You want to speak, but something stops you. So you look away, you laugh politely, you stay quiet. And in that silence, something inside you twists. We tell ourselves silence is harmless, that by staying quiet we avoid conflict, that it's not our responsibility. But history shows us otherwise. Think of every injustice that spread, every cruelty that became normal, every lie that hardened into truth. They did not begin with violence. They began with silence. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the German theologian who resisted the Nazis, wrote, "Silence in the face of evil is itself evil. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act." Yet most of us stay silent not because we agree with what's wrong, but because silence feels safer. Safer for our careers. Safer for our friendships. Safer for our comfort. But here's the paradox. Silence does not protect you. Silence protects the very thing that harms you. Let's go deeper. Plato's allegory of the cave describes prisoners chained in darkness, mistaking shadows for reality. But notice this, the prisoners aren't just trapped by chains, they're trapped by silence. No one dares to challenge the shadows. No one risks breaking the unspoken rules. Their silence is the cage. Fast forward 2,000 years, Hannah Arendt studied how ordinary people became complicit in extraordinary crimes. Her conclusion? Evil doesn't always come from monsters. It comes from ordinary people who just follow orders. It comes from people who see injustice but stay silent. It comes from people like us. Silence, she argued, is not absence, it is permission. When you don't resist a lie, the lie grows stronger. When you don't resist cruelty, cruelty becomes the norm. When you don't resist power, power becomes absolute. Nietzsche saw this too. He warned that most people don't really want freedom, they want comfort, safety, belonging. So they keep quiet. They repeat what the herd repeats. They stay silent when they should speak. And then they call that silence virtue. But silence is rarely virtuous. More often, it is cowardice dressed as peace. Think about the last time you said yes when you wanted to say no. The last time you swallowed your words because you didn't want conflict. The last time you laughed at something you knew was wrong, just to fit it. That silence didn't make you free. It made you complicit. Machiavelli, often misunderstood, observed that rulers don't need to silence truth. They only need to flood the world with noise, distractions, illusions, until truth no longer matters. And when that happens, silence becomes a ruler's best ally. Rome had bread and circuses. We have social media feeds, entertainment, and endless distractions. The strategy hasn't changed. Keep the crowd busy, keep them silent. And psychology confirms this. When we face too many choices, too much noise, our minds shut down. We avoid conflict. We stay quiet. Psychologists call this decision paralysis. But in society, it becomes moral paralysis. And here's the hardest truth. Silence feels safe only in the moment. But over time, it erodes everything: trust, courage, even the soul itself. Bonhoeffer knew this. That's why he risked his life to speak when others stayed quiet. Because silence does not stop evil. It feeds it.